Kabane was an orphan boy who got enslaved by his aunt, and everyone bullied him until he discovered his hidden power and his true form. But before knowing his true self, the hostess of Konoko Villa hired Detective Kohachi Inugami to investigate the bizarre incidents that are happening in the village, and offered him to stay in her inn until he solves the mystery. Later on at the inn, he saw a boy working in the fields. His name was Kabane Kusaka. Later, when Kohachi was taking a shower, a boy named Yataro came to serve him, and the boy kept talking about how he wanted to go to Tokyo. However, Kohachi asked him about the boy who was working outside. Yataro said they called him Dorotabo because of how much dirt he has on his body. Later, Kohachi asked the hostess to make Dorotabo Aka Kabane as his servant for the stay. When Kabane arrived to his room, Kohachi introduced himself and asked Kabane about the incidents happening at the field. Kabane told him that most of the chicken is found with their organs chewed up, and he has to dispose the bodies the morning after a new moon, because something might happen at the next new moon, so they have 5 days until it comes. After that, Kohachi went out with Kabane to help him out with some of his work. While they were at the field, Kohachi noticed a strange chain hanged around Kabane's neck. Kabane said it was with him since the day his parents left him. Kohachi checked it out and told him that it's called a life stone, and it has special materials that can only be found in this stone, and told him that it's way too precious to be left with an abandoned child. So his parents probably didn't abandon him, and offered him to search for his parents, and Kabane accepted. Later, at the new moon night, Kabane's cousin Yataro was jealous of him because he was close with the detective, so he burst out shouting at him and tried to take his chain. But Kabane punched him and turned into a weird-looking monster who was hungry for organs. Yataro ran off, and Kabane took the chain and became normal again. Later, Kohachi found Kabane hiding by the wooden planks. Kabane shouted at him to get away, as he was the culprit. But Kohachi told him that he is just like him and showed him his tail. And then, he told him that there are beings involved with the humans known as Kemono. They are not used to getting close to humans, but recently they started having plot with some humans to create children. After that, he told Kabane that he is called a Hanyo, a bloodless demon made from a human and a cooler, and told him that he is called a Bake Danuki himself. However, his life stone prevents his true form from appearing and keeps his human form as long as it's with him. However, Kabane is not the one who killed the animals, and there are other creatures who did. Kabane then remembered Yataro, and they went to save him. Just as the monsters eat Yataro, Kohachi shot them and saved him. Then Kabane skillfully killed the other wolf. Just then, a huge moose appeared, and it was so strong that Kohachi bullets didn't kill it. However,
it's one thick neck. Hey!
Kohachi told Kabane that he was hired by his aunt to kill him, as she has known about Kabane's real form a long time ago. And then, he asked Kabane if he wanted to meet his parents. Kabane smiled and said no, and he shot him. Later at the inn, Yataro's mom cried when she saw her son. However, Kohachi offered to get rid of Kabane's body, and took it with him. Later, Kabane woke up at Kohachi's car, and wondered why wasn't he dead. Kohachi then told him that he could heal from a normal gunshot, and took him to his office, which was inside a bar, and gave him some cloth and perfume, and left for some work. Later, 2 strange kids appeared. Their name was Shiki and Akira. Kohachi then offered Kabane to work with them, as there are some Kemonos who go out of line and their job is to take care of them, and they call themselves Kemonoists. And then, he told Shika and Akira that Kabane is cooler human Hanyo just like Shiki, which annoyed Shiki. But knowing that Kabane is 13, which is 1 year younger than him, made him arrogant. After that, Kabane mistook Akira for a girl, which made Akira very sad and shy. Meanwhile, while Shiki and Kabane were having dinner, Shiki told Kabane that he doesn't have any plans to become his friend just because he is a Hanyo like him. But he offered him some food because he felt bad. But he was surprised when he found out that Kabane never had pizza. so he congratulated him for having his first pizza. Later, when Akira and Shiki were sleeping, Shiki was wondering why did Kohachi bring Kabane. Akira told him that it was either his story was so sad or he is insanely strong. Shiki then asked Akira to bully the answer out of Kabane, but he declined and went to sleep, so Shiki decided to do it himself. Meanwhile, while Kabane was walking, he fell from a trap made by Shiki. Shiki then asked him for the reason he came with Kohachi. Kabane told him that he wasn't welcomed at his old home, so Shiki told him that his parents abandoned him, and then told Kabane that if he tried to get out of his trap his skin will tear. Kabane teared his skin and freed himself from the trap, and told Shiki that he was wrong. Shiki stopped him, but his leg healed instantly, and then he left. Later, Kohachi got a rushed job request, so he took the kids and made it as an opportunity to teach Kabane their job. Later, at the crime scene there was a boy and his mother taken hostage by the Kemono, and anyone tried to go in the room got devoured by the insects. And the hostage brother and little sister were sitting and crying for their mom and lil bro. And then, Kohachi showed Shika Akira and Kabane the room, which scared the shit out of Akira. Kohachi then said that the Kemono name was Senshichu 3 Corpse Bug, and said they are mostly harmless, unless their favorite food is visible, and once you take it from them, they will go back to their nest. Kohachi then was thinking of turning his skin to steel so he won't get affected by their bites, but he was worried about the hostage lives, and that he is going to need a bit of time. So it's a 50-50 chance of success. However, one of the rescue team lost his cool and suggested to just eliminate the whole house and the hostage is mostly dead. The hostage brother burst at him saying that they are not dead, and there is still hope. Shika then said that he can do it, so Kohachi kicked the rescue team out. Shika then used his silk and made a spider net to try and catch the item that the bugs were here for. But the insects started eating his silk, and they closed the door immediately. Kabane then suggested to go as he can't feel pain and the insects can't hurt him. Kohachi accepted. And then, Kabane went in and the insects started gathering at him, but he couldn't feel anything. So he took the item and raised high up and the insects went away. Kohachi then went to calm the hostage brother and told him that his mother and lil bro are fine, and they rushed in. However, Kohachi felt bad for Kabane as he is strong but very sad for missing his family. Later, Kabane was holding a pair of shoes with the price tag, which was the item the insects were here for, because they were stolen. Meanwhile, the big brother came to thank them and asked them for the reason the insects came as they can't move houses. Kohachi told him to stay out of mischief and return the stolen shoes. The brother then told them that his little brother got those shoes for their mom as she was a hard worker and her shoes were not usable. But when his big brother shouted at him for stealing, the insects appeared on his face and his mother rushed in to save him. Later, before they got home, Kabane asked Kohachi if he can find his parents since one of them was a Kemono. Kohachi then asked him for the third time if he wants to meet his parents, and Kabane said yes. Later at the office, Shiki told Kabane that his mom was an arachne, a spider Kemono, which how he got his powers, but he doesn't know if she is alive and doubted it. But Kabane believed that she wasn't. But Shiki thought that they are either dead or abandoned them, and Kabane believed that they are maybe looking for them, and he won't give up on looking for his parents, and they went to sleep. Meanwhile, Kohachi was tailing on the phone with a strange woman about Kabane, and talked about the life stone that was with him, and that Kabane is not just a normal Hanyo, and he is maybe a threat or fierce star of hope. Later, Kohachi asked Shiki to take Kabane and meet with Inari Yoko, who is a Kitsune Kemono but hold big power within the police, so he need her for future favors as a detective. So he told her that they were coming to show her the way. Kohachi then talked to Kabane privately and gave him a good luck charm. Meanwhile, the police department was giving Inari a big welcome, so she waved her hair and let them smell her residual aroma as a reward. Later, while they were going to meet Inari, Kabane was amazed by how many people were there. After arriving at Shinjuku Station, they were having some trouble with meeting Inari. Later, a weird girl called Kan-chan appeared and asked for Kabane and told him that Inari wanted to see him, and wanted only Kabane, not the other two. After arriving, Kan kicked Kabane in, and Inari welcomed him, and told him that she knew his story about Ant and Lifestone, and she started to talk about how rara a Lifestone is, so Kabane gave it to her so she can inspect it, and asked Kabane if he knew what was a life stone. Kabane said it was to hold back his powers. Inari then told him that Kemonos live off humans' energies, and that she didn't blend in with Inugami that well. But in order to assist humans they acted nice to each other. But his appearance made everything different, as his life stone hold back their true form, and they don't need to get fed by humans. And then Khan chopped his head off, and put his head in a suitcase so it doesn't grow back. Khan then said she can carry the suitcase, and told Inari that she was like her mother. Inari thanked her and told her that she was a good girl, which made Kanj blush. Inari then told Khan to deal with Shiki and Akira before she left. After a while, Shiki and Akira were waiting for Kabane, and then he appeared out of nowhere with a suitcase in his hands, and said that he have to deliver it to Inari's Sama room later. Shiki and Akira thought that there was something weird about Kabane, and told him not call a kitsune biddy so formally, which made Kabane face turn into a fox, and turned out that it was Khan all along, and she threw a fireballs with her tail at them, and started a fire at the station, and that worried Shiki. Khan told them that anyone who walks inside the station gets controlled by Inari, and they don't feel any pain. She started throwing fireballs again, but Shiki and Akira dodged and ran away, and Shiki pulled some furniture to use as a shield with his web, and then he pulled the suitcase from Khan, and was surprised when they found Kabane head in there. Khan then feared that she will not be a good girl if they steal the suitcase, so she turned into a wolf and attacked them. But Shiki took Akira and Kabane and ran away. Kabane then asked Shiki to throw his head at Khan, so he did.
Don't blame me, alright?
And she passed out, and everything turned out to be an illusion, and Kabane healed his body back, and Shiki was amazed by his skills, and fist bumped him to celebrate the win. Later, Kohachi then came to take them back, and he asked Kabane about the good luck charm, but Kabane told him that Inari took it from him. Meanwhile, Inari was holding the bracelet and turned into a bear in her hands. Kohachi then called her, and told her that this lifestone belongs to Kabane, and hung up, which made her very angry. Meanwhile, Shiki and Akira were worried of challenging Inari, but Kohachi cleared out that this is just negotiating boundaries between their territory. Meanwhile, Khan was hurt and walking through an ally, and wanted to deliver Kabane's head. Later, while heading back home, Kohachi explained how business come to them to Kabane, and told him that there is their signage, which attracts Kemono and humans empowered by Kemonos by its light, which was made by Inari. Out of nowhere, Khan came to complete her mission for Kabane head, but she fell from being tired and hungry. Kohachi took her and fed here, but she still tried to take Kabane's head. Kohachi told her that Inari would be ashamed of her manners and that she should clean up after herself. So she did. Meanwhile, a man came to the office, and he smelled funny to Kabane, and he came attracted to the light and had a scent of kimono on him.